What's up, everybody? It's the Bodhi Bros. I'm Phoenix Ray.
And I'm John with a J.
And today we're going to be each pulling a card from the Enchanted Map.
Different art, same deck. Watch out. Here we come.
Look out. Map time.
So what do we have? How are we going to do this? We're simultaneously going to pull a card. And then what?
Well, I think what we'll do is the people watching, they could use this as a reading.
Okay.
If they want to pick which person, which card they want to resonate with, or they could use each one for if they have different areas in their life that they need some answers for, like one for health, one for family, or one for career, one for relationship.
Okay, so like, go ahead.
Each pull one, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll read it and we'll talk about it, I guess.
All right, we'll let the cards dictate the path of our conversation, as we always do in these spirit talks. So take this moment right now as we ready our decks, and like pick Bodhi Ray, pick John with a J. Like Ray said, pick us both, and maybe like for Ray, pick a question or an intention for career, for me relationship, or whatever, general. Maybe you're just open to his message, open to mine, open to both of ours. So just take these few moments to maybe generate some questions, set some intentions, or just ready your heart and your being for the forthcoming messages that are about to be bestowed upon you and all of us. And without any further ado, I'm going to shuffle up this deck. I'm going to shake out the old energy, welcome in the new, connect with the heart, source, spirit, etc., so forth and so on. Breathe it in, Ray. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm gonna fan it out and I'm gonna tap into the Phoenix Ray energy and see. Okay, I'm feeling like you want me to stop because you're ready. So I'm gonna pull.
What you got? Stuck in the mud. Mine is number 36, commitment.
Oh, shit. We were talking about this before we hit record.
Yeah.
And stuck in the mud sounds like it's going to be right in line with all the things that we were rapping about as well. I'll go first.
Okay.
Stuck in the mud. Becoming stuck is sometimes the only way to trick yourself into slowing down and looking around you. In fact, this is a sign that you need to shift your focus away from what you're doing and place your attention elsewhere. Struggling will only get you even muddier places. Now is not the time to move forward, but to observe. Clarity about your circumstances will come a little later. Stop and find the joy in what you've been overlooking. Soon, you'll be out of the mud. But for now, be still and know that Spirit has a plan for you.
Okay. It's a very good read. I know, like, looking at it, it seems like it could be like a negative card, but it's actually a positive card. I think really what I got out of that is really be present. Be present for where you're at, because I think sometimes we're so future focused and trying to get somewhere, trying to strive. A lot of times we don't want to be where we're at right now. We want to be somewhere else, somewhere different. And we're always kind of like, trying to yearn for that place. And sometimes life is like, no, you need to be right here where you're at. Everyone's meant to be where they're at right now. There's nothing wrong. There's no wrong parts of this journey.
Yeah.
It's not always where our minds think we should be. We think we should be somewhere else or have more or doing something different. But we're here right now for a reason, for a purpose. And sometimes that purpose is just to sit and observe where we're at and be present with what is. And sometimes what is, it could be something that within us in our subconscious that we need to kind of go in and kind of look at, and looking at that and letting go of something
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. We lost Phoenix Ray. We lost Phoenix Ray. Let's make sure we pick back up where we left off. And he was saying, in looking at that, I think was his last phrase. Are we back?
Yeah.
You know where you left off? You said, so in looking at that.
Looking going within, sometimes that the time we have to stop and just kind of pause and be present, be with what is, and maybe going in and we recognize that there's something in our subconscious, something that needs to be healed first before we can make that next step. And seeing that and healing that is what's going to cause that next step to happen. So take this time to kind of just relax, go inward, and enjoy. Don't try to force anything.
Yeah, that's so well said, man. That makes me think about actually using this phrase several times a few years ago. When people are like, hey, how you doing, or what you been up to, and this and that, I'm like, I feel like for the last few years I've been pulling myself through the sludge, man, like or the mud, right? And what does that mean? It's just like, oh man, all this like shadow work and this and that, and like all this like still like, but in just saying that the way I'm saying it is not coming from a place of gratitude. It's coming from a place of dread and like what's next. Like I'm pulling myself through the sludge to, like you said, get to a future place versus and that's definitely a little bypassy, because that's like not honoring where you're at. And that's like saying like, I got to get through this crap to get to some better place. Or, I have to get through these shitty feelings so I can feel better. And that doesn't give us the opportunity to really to connect with what needs attention. And like you said, that is a call to healing. And so the mud, the sludge, isn't a bad place. It's just the place where you are. And maybe let's call that depression. And there's such a negative connotation and a stigma to this word, to this idea, like when someone's depressed, oh no, and I think we make it worse on ourselves and on our friends and family when we panic or we try to help someone out of their depression by cheering them up or making it or helping them to, we think we're helping them to change, whereas they really just need to sit in that depression and not feel alone, and feel that it's okay to feel the things, right, that they're feeling, and connect with, why am I feeling this way? Not, I need a pill, get me away from this negative, air quote feeling, but all right, why do I feel this way? What do I need? What am I lacking? Where do I need to put my focus, not for the future, but for the right now? Like what needs attention in my, physically, emotionally, spiritually, what, and ask yourself those questions in this, like the card says, and like you said, in this place of it may look like a bad card, it may sound like a bad thing, but it's really not. It's just a thing, right?
Yeah.
And so, dude, I've been totally guilty of that, because I mean, let's face it, we're programmed that these feelings that end up on this side of the spectrum versus over here, the anger, the depression, the sadness, the grief, these are bad things, right? It's right. We all need to aspire to get to joy and liberation and bliss and blah blah, like that's where we need to be or want to be. But in reality, the rainbow of it all is the human experience. Exactly. And we dishonor this side of the rainbow by not allowing yourself to stay there and really intimately connect with what's there. These things are going to come, man, but actually they probably won't come as much and abundantly if you don't spend time with these things and give them the attention that they need, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you try pushing them away, they're just going to keep coming back, and because they haven't told you what you need to hear yet. So until you listen to them, they're going to keep coming into that door and keep coming in. And so the only way to do it is to allow those feelings to come in and the depression, those feelings of sadness, and allow them to come in and tell their story to you, and really feel them and allow them to come and go, and allow them.
And this card has an elephant. So for those of you into animal medicine, Google elephant medicine totem and intuitively pick one of the sites and get a little sub reading, if you will. I do know that elephant medicine sometimes means, and it can mean different things to different people at different times, but I know one of the things that are attached to elephant medicine is to be in service of the youth and the elderly. So
Right. Actually, too, Ganesha is the remover of obstacles. So you may feel like you're stuck in an obstacle when you're stuck in the mud. So you could maybe use that energy to kind of get yourself out, get
I
yourself
like
going.
that. All right. You didn't
All
even
right. So this is commitment number 36.
commitment. Did you show the card? I don't know if I saw it. Okay, back it up a little bit. Okay, right there. It looks like two hands, and
Yeah.
what's in the middle? Is it a star?
Yeah, it's a star.
All right, two hands and a star. Commitment.
Yeah.
Blow it up for us, Phoenix Ray.
Partnerships formed at this time are harmonious and powerful. The commitment card also indicates the natural evolution of the relationship from its inception to a literal or metaphorical marriage. At the very least, there is a promise of fulfillment in some form. However, you must be conscious of what you're committing to. Be clear about the nature of your commitment and your responsibility to it. Others are more willing to enter into partnership at this time. Remember that your partnership with spirit and the highest version of your own self will engage the highest self in another.
Well, I hear echoes of another C word as you shared that reading, and that's communication. And I think it's paramount when you're committing to anything or you feel drawn to a new commitment, or commitment is calling on the horizon, whatever the case may be, that you're very, very, very emphatically dedicated to entirely truthful. So pure authenticity, like sharing, if you will. So,
Right.
so open the throat chakra, connect to the heart, and really let your truth flow impeccably. Okay. And share with the organization, the person, the group of people, whatever the commitment is, like what you really want, what you really see as far as what your level of commitment is, what commitment means to you. And I really feel, another C word, it's an important conversation that so everyone's on that same page, right? So everyone has a clear understanding, trust, value, respect for one another, and that to me is the breeding ground for a beautiful partnership, whether it's business, romantic, friendship, whatever, but really just totally clarifying everything that you feel, and having the courage to share that and say, like, in all of your relationships. I say courage because it's scary, because you think, oh, someone's going to judge me if I say this is what I want to commit to, or this is what I feel that the commitment should be, or what I'm looking for, or what I hope will happen, because people are, oh, I'm going to scare someone off, or they're going to think it's too intense, or they're not going to think it's enough, which could be the case too. Like they're going to be like, oh, he's too casual, we need someone that's more committed. But ultimately you're serving yourself and the other party and or parties in a really beautiful way by not wasting anyone's time, right? Because if you're not upfront honest with your intentions and where your heart it truly is, I mean, you're just sabotaging the thing. It's going to blow up eventually, and demand that same thing in return. And if you're not getting it, tell that person and or party or parties that you need that. Like, hey, in order for this to work, like I just shared this with you. I need you to give me something back. So I'm feeling you, bro. You know, does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Yeah, and that courage is kind of hard, especially getting into some sort of commitment, because especially some of us maybe have rejection problems, trauma, rejection trauma, or abandonment trauma. Sometimes we kind of, or sometimes we're afraid to have that, be that super honest, because we're afraid of that rejection of like, oh my God, if I really speak, if I really be myself and like say what I really want, what if the other person doesn't really want that? And I really like that person, or I really want that. And, you may be afraid of causing waves, but really it's going to come out no matter what, eventually, in some way. And usually if you withhold that stuff, it's just going to come out in a worse way than it would have been if you were just upfront, right from the beginning, and being honest and communicating and being authentic. Also, that, what it's important too, I think it said in there, is commitment to your higher self, and commitment to spirit, and being that too, because a lot of times people get in commitments, committed relationships or whatever, or through, I'm not just romantic or whatever that, but at a disservice to themselves. And maybe you're not growing anymore in this relationship. And so you're kind of self-sabotaging yourself because you have this commitment towards something, a project or a person or a relationship. And now it's like, you're not, and you're kind of breaking a commitment to yourself, because it's not leading to your growth. You're not expanding anymore, and you feel like you're kind of stuck in the mud.
Oh, I knew you were gonna do it. Boom. Nice, nice,
So
nice.
sometimes the wrong commitments, could really, I don't want to say set us back, because it's all a learning experience.
Right. And as we
Yeah.
discussed, being stuck in the mud's not bad, but it gives us a chance to identify like what we really need or what we really want.
Right. And so we may reevaluate these commitments that we've made. Maybe those commitments served us prior, and, in a certain level where we're at, but now we're on a certain level and we're wanting to break through this. And now it's like that commitment's no longer serving you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of tough too. And because sometimes it's, you may feel like you're betraying somebody, but you're really betraying yourself. You're
Right.
really betraying. So you really have to be committed towards your growth, your expansion. And it's selfish, but not in a bad way. I mean, as long as you're not, like you said, you have some sort of agenda with people that you're not communicating, and you're not being, as long as you're authentic with people, and and I think doing stuff for your greater good and expansion is what's you're just gonna draw, loving yourself is gonna bring more love into you. It's sort of that's how manifestation works. That's the magic of it, the law of attraction. The more you do that, you're gonna attract maybe situations, people on a higher level are gonna come into your life. So
Right.
ultimately, the biggest commitment you have is with yourself, with your higher self.
And being wow, being really genuine with that commitment to yourself or your higher self, as you said. The questions, well, like one of those questions may come up for you, like, am I just committed to this situation because it's really comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you've become really almost like complacent, where the expansion has ceased. You've reached a plane of stagnation, but you feel safe, you feel comfortable, you feel like you're in a place where the world can't hurt you or something. And it's maybe it's easy, maybe it's just, maybe there's a lot of maybes. So taking that time to dive into the mate, like what am I really feeling, what's keeping me from something else or someone else, or or allowing myself to expand or evolve or graduate or whatever into another, whether it's career, relationship, friendship, whatever, like what, ask yourself those questions, ask yourself those, and listen, right? Spend the time whilst in the mud, um, to say, because there's something to be said about being comfortable and feeling
Got it.
safe. My gosh, and it does serve you well. But maybe if you're being honest with yourself, you might be hitting a ceiling and not giving yourself the opportunity to soar and discover new things, and in a very respectful way too, not just for you, but for the other people or persons involved. Because probabilities are, if you're feeling a certain way and you're bumping your head in a certain situation, they are probably too, and if they're being honest with themselves. So there's that communication thing again. And I think it's the word that keeps popping up is, listening to what you're sharing, Ray, and thinking the thoughts that are flowing through me is I think that you give yourself the opportunity to be delightfully surprised, if allow yourself to investigate these things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a conscious curiosity you could have and to explore. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being in a comfortable, stable environment. I mean, I think we kind of, I mean, you got to remember too is that it's in a way that security is always an illusion, really, because any security can really go to snap up a finger any time,
Mm,
really. But I mean, but yeah, I think we kind of go through levels where we kind of like level up in a way. We let go, we kind of grow, and then we kind of go through a period of a little bit comfort where we kind of not really moving, where we're kind of comfortable. That's normal. And then maybe we feel stagnant in that level, or maybe we don't. Maybe that's where we're fine. Everyone's different. Everyone's got to be looking within themselves for that. But sometimes we get comfortable, then we feel that stagnation. Like we need to grow. We need to be, that stuck in the mud. We need to be like, I want to do something, and we're not sure where that's gonna go. So we
right.
work on our and then we grow some more. And maybe that takes us out completely out of our comfort zone.
Right.
And then what happens is we go out of that and we learn that new thing. And now we get into a new comfort zone. So it's like we're always going out of a comfort zone and then to a new comfort zone and then
Right. Because you want
out of
to,
it.
because we all aspire to feel comfortable, to feel
Yeah,
safe, to
there's
feel those
nothing
things. That
there's
makes
nothing
sense.
wrong with that.
And
Nothing wrong.
yeah, and I think that, um, what was I going to say? Oh man, lost my train of thought for a second there. That, when we, damn it, where was I headed with this? When we aspire, um, to be comfortable. Oh yeah, that's what I said. It's like you said, that's okay. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're leaving that job or leaving that
Right.
relationship, right? Or that town you live in. Maybe it's rediscovering those things or opening the channels of communication with your boss, with your partner, um, with the map of your town, and exploring new avenues of possibility,
Oh,
having maybe some tough conversations, getting a little uncomfortable, going to that new park or whatever, and 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 challenging yourself in a way to grow and expand. And like I said, it's not mean like, all right, I've been comfortable, I've been safe, and the key to life or the secret to life is to constantly be expanding. And that's cool. It's so I feel like we all came here for, it was is for expansion purposes.
it doesn't have to be super dramatic.
Right. You don't have to blow shit up for it to
It doesn't
happen.
mean
It
like,
could,
I got my wife and kids and go move to Europe now.
right, right. Or like, I'm so comfortable with my wife and kids, whatever, but I want to level up. So fuck you guys. I'm going to find a new family, right? But I'm getting a better, no, it doesn't mean that. It just means connecting maybe more deeply with your family, having like really, really intimate conversations and sharing your frustrations, sharing, just opening those channels of communication in a way that's really vibrant and healthy for everyone involved.
Yeah,
Wow,
definitely.
this was a nice little reading here.
Yeah, for sure. So
Dig it. You got anything else?
I got nothing else, man.
I'm good to golden too, man. So I guess follow the places below. We have a link tree, so that's the easiest place to go. Linktree.com/the Bodhi Bros, and then you can see all the places where you can follow us. If you love this broadcast, make a donation. We got places, Venmo, PayPal, whatever, where you can say like, hey guys, thanks, man. You hit me right in the heart. Here's a few bucks and we'll put it to good use. We promise. And like, share, subscribe from our heart to yours. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Endless gratitude for tuning in and for all your support over the years. I'm John with a J.
I'm Phoenix Ray. Namaste.